So let's roll, eh?
Let's roll.
What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Kiss Capades podcast. And today I have a very lovely guest, a good friend of mine. Are we friends? Are we still friends?
We're always friends.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah,
So
we've been
have I
friends
been
for-
unblocked in all platforms?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No. she just decided to block me. I don't know for what reason, but
Yeah.
let's catch up. Let's catch
However,
up.
we're celebrating 11 years, yeah?
Oh yeah.
Of friendship.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, today I have a good friend of mine. Her name is Nash Wanjau. She's in the travel industry. Is it?
Yeah, I'm in the
Am I
travel
wrong?
industry.
Is it?
Plus, I own a pet shop.
Okay.
Yeah.
In fact, let me just let you introduce yourself. Just
Okay.
introduce yourself.
Awesome. All right, my name's Nash Wanjau.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually an entrepreneur. I have a pet shop called Mousy Pet Shop, and on top of it, I'm a travel agent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's about it.
Okay. Let's dig into travel.
Uh-huh.
So, a lot of people, because travel has just started being a thing towards a little bit younger people. They never used to do it. Travel was just for rich people, and maybe if you have a rich boyfriend or a sugar daddy or a sugar mommy. Of course, it wasn't like
Yeah.
a thing. But nowadays, guys are going out there, sharing their pictures on social media, letting each and everyone inspire other people to travel as well. What made you get into the travel? Because ever since I knew you, you've always been in the travel industry, kind
Yeah.
of. What inspired you to get into it?
Actually, getting into it wasn't exactly an inspiration.
Okay, did you
So-
go to school for it?
Yeah, I did take some classes, and some
Okay.
lessons, but then
My apologies. My
however,
apologies.
everything that you learn, you tend to learn on the job. Especially, I specialize in outbound travel, which is actually taking Kenyans out of Africa or out of East Africa.
Mhm.
And so for that, you don't really learn it in school. You learn it on the job. And actually, I started working in 2006. So I guess that's what, 11 years now? 12?
Mm.
Yeah. And
And you know the funny thing?
Uh-huh.
She's never called me to tell me, you know what, there's a deal. There's a deal here. If you pay this amount, you get to go to this place. Or maybe these
know
guys
what?
are flying somebody out for free. Do you want to come in?
that's true, and I apologize for that. However, it's
Shame on you.
2019,
Shame
new
on
things
you.
and new starts, and I'm sure
Okay.
I will.
Yeah,
Get
it's always good to have a friend in a certain type of industry.
That's
because
true.
if you need those deals,
Yeah.
because I think one thing that doesn't make a lot of people travel, because they're not informed about, maybe they're thinking, okay, now I have to deal with visa,
Yeah.
maybe it's too expensive. They're not well informed about how they can go about it.
Yeah.
So you'd find somebody has money, but they're not just in tune with that culture. So they'd rather just go out, drink.
That's the thing. I think that what's there is that there's a mentality that a good time is about going to the club and drinking, or going to Mombasa and drinking.
Yeah,
And
it's
people
not.
don't actually think, no, it's not. There's so much to see. There's so much out there.
Uh-huh.
And I think for starters, we have to shift our mentality on that. What's a good time? What's fun? And then the second thing is, it's quite affordable to travel. We have to develop.
Is it?
Yes, it is. We
Okay.
just have to develop a saving culture, like a situation where you're like, okay, I'm going to travel in November or December, and then you book your trip, and then every month you pay something.
Ah.
Yeah, and that makes it easy, as opposed to saying, oh, we're traveling. I think we have this thing of, oh, next week let's go to.
Imagine, and
Yeah,
then you're
and
like,
then-
I'm trying to tell people,
yeah,
yo,
and then
I didn't
someone
get
is
a
like-
heads up. Where am I
It's
supposed to
'cause
get the funds?
That's true, because people always like, tomorrow let's go to Vasha. Yeah, but we need 5 Gs, something like that.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
you have to check whether you actually have that
Yeah,
money,
yeah.
to just spend. Because sometimes you can have money, but it's not
That's
for
not
that.
the priority.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's not your priority.
And so we have to start planning in advance. As you know, I travel a lot. I like
listen,
traveling.
Listen.
And so
I think I have an idea that you like
I
traveling.
like traveling.
And that's why all the questions here are all just about traveling, because it's
Oh
so
my gosh.
important.
Yeah.
But people also need tips on how they can just go about it. The way you've said,
Yeah.
that's a payment plan. Right?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of my friends know I'm in the travel industry, but very
Yeah.
few of them, I do have a couple of people who come and say, oh, you like traveling. Next time you're going somewhere, or let's do this trip or something. And I'm like, okay,
Uh-huh.
that's a good idea. And what happens is a lot of people, they come and they're like, okay, and I'm like, all right, fine. Which month do you want to travel? We're gonna put money towards that.
Yeah.
But then most of the time,
Uh-huh.
I'll give you a good example.
Tell
When I
me.
was going to UK
Yeah.
earlier this last year,
Yeah.
and a couple of my friends were like, oh yeah, we're gonna join you. And I was like, okay, this is the month I'm going to go. These are the details, everything.
Yeah.
So don't worry about that. Let's meet up over there.
Mhm.
And then I was like, it's gonna cost you. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then last minute, everyone's like, oh, I don't have this money. And I'm thinking, well, you knew about it. Like,
yeah, I mean, you can't just assume. First of all,
Exactly.
you can't just assume that.
you really have to get things.
But saving is the most important part of it.
I
If
would
you
say-
really want to get in.
Yeah, I would say saving is important, but also the more people go, the more the more you are, the
Yeah.
cheaper it gets. So
Or like getting like probably a Airbnb.
correct. Like right now, I do
Activities.
specialize now in outbound groups. So I do groups of even 30 or so people, and it's
Really?
just much cheaper to do that because
In what
If-
sense?
if you're a whole group and you're taking a hotel, then the rates are much cheaper. So it's easier to
Like you can
negotiate
negotiate
with the hotel.
Oh, so
yes.
you do that on their behalf?
Yes, I do. I do everything for these people, and it's easy to negotiate with the airline.
It's so strange
'Cause you
when you
get
talk
group
about
rates.
all these things that you're doing to other people. You negotiate these things
I'm
for
going
them and
to
these
take
things.
you. Please
And
don't
listen,
start crying.
This bachelor who's just trying to move around and he has no idea how he can just go out there and enjoy himself.
Yeah.
I have no idea, but
oh my gosh.
that's why I think I called you for this podcast, and then I can always just be in tune or just try and get to know more about this travel. I'm planning to do a lot of that in 2019.
That's a great idea. So
Yeah.
you already
So you're-
you can already contact me directly. But for
Yeah.
anyone who's interested in some, tours, or you and your girls want to go somewhere, please just drop a
yeah.
DM.
Just tell me about the before we get to the DM. Before we get to sliding the DM, just tell me more about this outbound thing that you're talking about.
Outbound.
Or like what you've said. You've talked about you can negotiate packages for
Yeah.
groups.
Yeah.
Things like hotels. Let's say a regular price of a hotel maybe in what country? What country can we pick?
Okay.
One of your favorite countries to visit.
All countries are my favorite.
Oh.
No,
Ugh.
bottom line is this. Let's
Yeah.
say, for example, you're taking
What? Yeah,
Your
I want
group-
to know like
Okay.
how much of a
me-
bargain I can get. in a
it's
group.
definitely a huge bargain. So, for
Uh-huh.
example, if you're going to maybe a place like, let's say, like Thailand, and then you want
Oh,
to
I've
go.
heard good things about Thailand.
Yeah, and you want to have a good hotel that's
Yeah.
not too pricey, because obviously most people are going to go on a budget. Yeah.
Yeah,
If you're rich, can do 5-star, but most people will opt for 3 to 4 stars.
yeah, and I
Yeah,
hear it's
'cause-
actually
yeah,
the
'cause-
prices are decent.
Yeah, they are decent, because the idea is to have a good hotel, but chances are you're just sleeping and having breakfast at the hotel. Most of
Yeah,
the time you're
you'll
going
be
to be
out.
out. Yeah, so you just need a clean, decent, good hotel. You don't need to be in luxury or
Yeah, 'cause
whatever.
you're not spending a lot of
yeah,
time
because you're
indoors
not
anyway.
in
It
your
doesn't make any
country,
sense.
so you want to be like, okay, I'm only doing 5 nights or 7 nights, and you want to capture everything in those few days. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so if maybe the hotel is like $70 a night, if you're a group, you'd have it for like 50 or 30. And
30?
also,
What do you mean 30?
and also, most of the time, if there's a group of people,
yeah.
most of the time the hotel can say, okay, fine, you're taking 30 and 2 people will be free. So it's quite,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So it
So
definitely,
let's get a group of 30, and then now,
exactly.
when you need the extra guy in the
Yeah.
group, The one who's gonna get the free ninis. That's why I come
Yeah,
in, right?
you can have that. Yeah, or you can
I'm serious
you can
about
have
it,
the
though.
discount.
You know that, right?
Yeah, but then you can also have the discount and divide that discount
Yeah.
over. So if your rate originally was like, okay, everybody pays $50 and 2 people are free, you can divide that $100 among everyone and everyone pays less.
Okay.
So it's always a saving for everyone.
True.
It really is. Plus, it's cheaper if you're many, and then you have to take a bigger car, and so the cost is divided as opposed to 2 people.
So when you're organizing these things, you can practically just throw yourself in that trip if you want to. Because I mean, you can always wiggle around the budget.
You know,
and
that is so true. As
Yeah.
much as I would like to do that and throw myself into these trips,
You
I
don't?
still have to. No, I still have to be at
Oh,
work
yeah, yeah,
because
yeah,
there
yeah.
are other people traveling. So I can't take a holiday. I
Okay.
wish I could, but I can't.
But okay, let's. That's also very important. Have you thought of doing this independently?
You know,
Because right now you're working for a company, right?
yeah, right now
As
I
a
am.
consultant, or just you're in it like.
Well, it started as a consultant, but I'm in it now.
Yeah.
However, I wish I could do that, but I can't because
Do you think
I
you
have
can
my
do it
own.
independently?
No, because
No?
no, because I actually like my pet shop. I love being an entrepreneur. I love spending my time doing my business, growing my business.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my business is my passion, is my everything. But I am amazing and I'm excellent and I'm very good at outbound travel work.
Yeah.
And so that's the thing. So I definitely enjoy both my passions. I love making
Thank you.
money. I love having a good time.
This looks good, eh?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it does. Oh, that's the
Uh-huh.
strawberry kiwi, yeah?
Yeah. Mine is the berry kiss, I think.
Oh, yours is a berry kiss.
Yeah.
Smells nice though.
Yeah, you're saying sorry. You
So I was saying I love doing both of them.
but you're more. Where's your passion? Where does the passion lie?
Let me explain something.
And before we even get to the,
I
okay,
have
yeah.
learnt.
Yeah.
As you know, I took a whole year break from working. I quit my job and I took a whole year. And during that whole year, I went through a journey of self-discovery, what I wanted to do, where my passion was, and what I've come up with in order to. By the way, I
Was this last year?
yeah, this was the last year. Yeah, last year, 2018.
You're really on the edge last year.
Yeah, last
I
year
think you
was.
seem more happier right now.
I am.
More positive.
Let me tell you, I
No-
went
no
through
negative
a
energy.
beautiful- I never have negative energy. I'm positivity 100%. However, what happened was I ended up learning that I could balance things that I like, and
Yeah.
so I found a perfect balance for my work.
Yeah.
And a perfect balance for my pet shop. Now the thing is, the person I work for already knows I had a pet shop, so even when they asked me to come and work for them, they already knew that. So that's already
That's a plus.
included.
'cause, yeah,
Yes,
they already know.
exactly.
You know.
And so for me, it was just that balance, which I found. Let me just let me just make it clear. I found the balance. I found my passions. So I enjoy going to work. I enjoy doing my business, and I like that I can sort of do both without them conflicting with each other.
Have you found
this-
a boyfriend?
Have I found a boyfriend?
No, we'll
Not
get
yet.
to that. We'll get to that.
Dear
We'll get to that.
Kenyans,
I'm just
I'm
playing.
searching. Where are you? Please don't hit on me if you're married. Don't hit on me if you're living with someone. Don't hit on me. Please, single men out there. Don't be
Please.
scared to approach. Come say hi.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and don't come with that, hey, rangi ya tao vibe.
Hey, you know the drill. You know the drill. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Yeah, but okay, so how important is it? How important? Because you said last year is when you took a break
A break.
after like those 11 years.
Yes.
Okay, so how important is that? How important do you think it is to take that break and just reboot, reevaluate your life and like what you're working towards?
Yeah, I think it's important because it's actually a journey, and this journey cannot be done just by deciding or reading something. You have to break down to the deepest fears you have, to everything. For me to quit my job was very, very difficult, even though I already had my business. I'm going to 3 years now, and it was very comfortable because I was working, and then I had the business, and I was just like comfortable. I was comfortable. And sometimes you have
But
to.
if you're comfortable, what's wrong with being
But
comfortable?
that is it. If you're comfortable, it's bad because you
It
don't
is?
know your potential. You don't know what you can do until you're put in a situation where you have to swim.
Yeah.
And for me, I had to put myself intentionally in that situation for me to swim. And before, my job was like, oh yeah, I love my job. I get a good paycheck, a great paycheck at the end of the month. And then I have my business, which makes me money and everything. But
Yeah.
once I removed myself from the employment situation,
Yeah.
then I had my business, and my business had to cater to everything.
Yeah.
My bills, my life, everything. I
Yeah.
had to learn how to be an entrepreneur. And let me tell you, it was a journey. Oh my God. I went up, I went down, I went up again,
Yeah.
And now I would say I'm in a good place, and I'm still learning, I made a lot of mistakes, which I wouldn't have known had I not stepped out.
Yeah.
But now, even as I go back to
I
employment,
think you even respect entrepreneurs much more.
it is actually my second week at my job. I only started on the 14th.
Second week?
14th, yeah, I started on the 14th.
Jeez.
And originally,
You don't even know if you'll make it through the month.
No, I will make it through the month.
they
Originally,
let
I
you
went as
go.
a consultant, but I did discuss this with my boss, and I decided to stay on.
Yeah.
And the reason for this is because I could understand exactly what she wants, where she's heading, what her vision is, because I know what my vision is. And I find that I'm a bit different now. Like, I recycle, I like papers and stuff. I don't waste.
Recycle what?
I also don't like to waste time, business time and stuff.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I find
Speaking
that I'm
about
more-
that, I find that very interesting.
Okay, yeah,
that you're
you
talking
know
about,
what? You won't even talk about this.
and then
No, I've
and then
made
you
an
show
allowance
up.
for this. I've made an allowance for this. So
Oh,
don't
okay.
even.
Okay,
don't even-
okay.
Oh my God.
Okay.
This guy-
Yeah, okay. Uh-huh.
You
Time
want to
is
get me
important.
fired.
Okay,
Oh my
how
God.
time is important
Now,
to
time
you.
is important. It is actually important. And
No, but I also understand that, because even at times, even just with the podcast, I try and make people understand, like, even if I schedule you up for, like, a small interview.
yeah,
I mean, once you say yes,
it's a commitment.
Yeah,
Yes.
not even just to me. Like, I have to call, make reservations, make
Exactly.
arrangements and everything. I mean, just
Exactly.
make sure everything is on point.
Yeah.
So in case that has to move, it's really
It can
inconveniencing,
inconvenience,
not just
yeah.
me, like a lot of all other people.
Exactly. And
So
when
I-
you make a commitment,
Yeah.
you have to make a commitment,
Okay.
to what you have to do.
I respect
So,
that.
yeah.
Apart from time, what else?
Um,
Before we go back to
money.
travel.
No, even money. How you deal with company resources.
Yeah.
How you just printing or emails, phone calls. You have to just check: are you getting the value that you need?
You're
Yeah.
not those people, just because I'm in an office, you just misuse the
That's
funds,
true.
and then you can't account for doing
However,
this and that.
let me say one thing.
Yeah.
One of the things I learned is how to work smart, not work hard, but work smart. And so you can come into the office and sit your 8 to 5, or is it 9 to 5, and not do anything, But if you learn to work smart, you can organize your day. You can get the things that you need done. In the shortest time possible. As long as your day is done, what you need to do is done. It's less stress for you. You will find that you're working happier, easier.
Yeah.
Which is something I actually didn't know before. Before I was like, okay, I'm at work. And now I find that I plan my day, and most of the time, if I get there and I've put my notebook and I've scheduled everything,
Yeah.
I find that by maybe 2, I'm done. I'm like, yeah,
You're good,
what
like,
next?
the rest
Okay,
of the
let me
day you
start
can actually
calling. Let
now
me
start
try and
doing.
get something. Exactly. And at the end of the day, when I leave at 5,
Yeah.
my mind is so clear. I just focus on, okay, I need to check up on my employees now, see whether my work is done, and do my accounts and everything. And so I don't find myself stressed.
You're very serious. In what you do, you just talk with so much passion, and I don't think a lot of people don't take light-skinned girls very seriously.
Oh, that is so true,
Or am I lying?
No, that's that's actually very true. That's actually very true. My dad used to walk me up and down and say, "Who's married a supermodel?" Yeah, nobody. Yeah, so brains. And so, yeah, I
Okay.
do work hard.
Okay, let's go back to travel.
Uh-huh.
How important do you think traveling is? To just anyone in general, how important is it?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Traveling is important because it really opens your mind. You meet with people from different cultures, different they speak different languages, they have a different way of life from you. And what happens is that you become more accepting, less ignorant, you know? I remember let me put a controversial topic out there.
Please do. By all means.
By all means.
Yeah.
I remember I used to be very ignorant and I used to be very homophobic. I'll just put that out there. I used to be. And I remember.
How dare you?
Yeah, it's true.
How dare you?
I used to be. And I remember I went to Bangkok, and as I.
Oh, wow. I'm
yeah.
sure that was like a shock to
I
you.
went alone, yeah. Thank you for the friend that was supposed to come and didn't come.
Okay.
So I ended up alone, but it was a good experience nonetheless.
What
So
happened?
I went.
Let's get to the juicy part. I'm waiting.
I have a feeling I'm gonna be judged for this.
No.
All right.
Because you're talking
So
about how it made
How
you,
it changed me. I'll
the way
just
you're
say the
thinking and
first
everything.
thing.
Yeah.
Yes. And then I went to a shopping mall, and they have amazing, huge shopping malls. I think that was Pratunam Markets or something.
Yeah.
It was a long time ago. This was like in 2010. Yeah. Anyway. So as I'm shopping, I see this girl, and she looks very different, you know, deep voice and everything, but very feminine, very pretty, yeah? And I go and I start talking to this lady, and turns out she's a trans. Yeah, and of course my first thought was judgment. How dare? But then after a while, and I'm talking to her, and I'm sitting with her, and she's like, try this on and try that on, and this. Next thing I knew, all my prejudice went. It all just faded away.
And then you're like, what?
Yeah, and then I was like, how ignorant was I? You know. So that's one good example. The second another thing I noticed is like when people come here, people say, "Oh, mzungu to people." People are people.
Yeah.
The fact that a white person can talk Swahili,
Yeah.
you can be Kenyan and talk French.
True.
It's true.
True.
People can learn different languages. It's not something you have to be so excited about. Because
Really? I mean,
No.
most of these girls get their ticket to another country, you know, is
No,
through,
that's
it's
not the
through
thing.
them.
I'm talking about the mentality.
Oh, yeah.
I'm talking about the mentality
Okay.
that you're like, oh, this, and you come to realize countries are just exactly the same.
Yeah.
They're rich people, they're poor people, the people who are trying. So this mentality, like, oh, Jungus have money. Bullshit.
They don't?
No, they don't. They're just people like us. There are
They
those who can
don't?
travel. There are those who can't travel. There are those who are on their retirement fund that you're eating here.
This is shocking to me. What do you
Yeah.
mean?
But I mean, you walk down the streets, you'll see, you know,
But-
there are
but I
rich
think
people. There are
definitely
people are people.
Yeah, but I can say definitely, you know, just because they have better and working systems.
Yeah,
Ju-
but that's a
why-
government thing.
Yeah.
Our failure is the government, but
Yeah.
people in general, human beings, are exactly the same.
Okay,
The way
yeah.
a mother
true.
worries about her child when the child goes to school or something, or doesn't have a sweater, is the same way this person will worry in India, this person will worry in South Africa, the person will worry in America. At the end of the day, humans are exactly the same. The way as a man goes to work hard for his family, it's universal.
It's very important that you've said that. Wow. This is coming from you. She just said the way a man
Yeah.
can go out and work hard for the family.
Oh my gosh.
And this is coming from you. I am so proud of you.
So,
Clearly, the last year has
have-
been really good.
no, you
We
have
will
this
get to that.
mentality.
No,
You
no,
have
no.
this mentality that
You
because
said
I'm a
it.
feminist, feminists are male bashers. We are
You
not.
are,
No,
you
we
are.
just believe in the equality of the sexes in terms of payments, in terms of
How come-
opportunities,
Listen,
educational
should
and
we
job.
go back to the
It has
statement that you just
nothing to
said?
do with gender roles.
Should we just go back to that statement that you just said? How comes as a feminist you didn't say like, you know what, it would be really good. It's the same thing everywhere. You know, you'd find a woman going out to work hard for the family. I mean,
The reason I say that, for starters, women do work hard just as much as men do. And a lot of times women hold the economy, women hold families, but that's as a result always of a failure of the man. Okay,
shit.
so let me tell you something. If you have a husband and he's getting the bread and he's coming and he's looking after you, you have no reason or no need to go beyond what you should go. But if you're a single mom, you have no choice but to work, because if you don't work, rent won't be paid, the food won't be put on the table. And so if the father of the child is not present, that's a failure on his part, not on yours. So you have to compensate. So you have to do the role of two parents.
I see I triggered something there, and then
Okay.
and this conversation is going to be so interesting.
When this podcast comes out, please comment and let me know what you guys think. Yeah, let me know your thoughts on this gender roles and everything. But
no, we'll get to that. Okay, hold that thought.
But I think traveling, you see something different from what you're used to, from the norm, and I think it's important.
Respect more people a little bit more.
Yes, and also prejudice. People judge.
What is that?
This is when you categorize a
Don't
group
just
of
use
people.
big words so that I can look like so that my facial expression will be like
He knows
this,
what
and
it
then people
means.
can,
Okay, he knows.
No, but not just for me, but for other people, because it's
Okay.
an audio version. I want people to connect.
Okay, so what I mean is people put people in one bracket.
Yeah.
They tend to say, oh, these Indians, these Chinese, these white people, black people. Everybody puts people in a race bracket or a country bracket. But when you travel, you realize that it's so different. For example, I have two friends who are from Iran. They dress like me, they talk like me, they're just normal girls. But when you think, oh, this girl's from Iran, you expect the whole, the whole.
I do, because it's their
attire.
culture. Because I mean,
Exactly.
that's what I'm thinking. Because I
That's true.
haven't been.
But then you realize it's so many aspects. Because if you go out there and you say you're African, people automatically assume you live in a madhouse or something. Yet, I mean, we have
Which is not
malls and
far-fetched.
everything.
Which is not far-fetched.
No, it's not. But that's not the entire general population.
True.
You could have, there are people who live in poverty, and that's unfortunately, given the history that us as black people have had, it's just unfortunate that we still suffer in this time.
A very big population. It's just
a
because,
very huge
once
thing.
if you're in the city, I think at times you tend to forget.
You tend to forget that
But
there are a
every
lot of
time
people
yeah.
that are really struggling.
Yeah.
And it's not that people who are poor are not hardworking. They're the
They're
most hardworking people.
hardworking.
But if the government does not place systems to protect them, to keep them, does not build roads, does not
Inform,
provide
enlighten them, empower them.
Exactly. And as Kenyans, you need to realize water has to be provided for every citizen. It is not a luxury. It is a necessity. But the government doesn't know that, stuff like that. And so
They don't,
hospital
or they just,
and healthcare,
don't care.
think about it. Look where all the major hospitals are. They're in certain communities, certain places, but if you live in the slum, you have to travel really. You have to travel to go. However, if you live in Parklands, you have how many options of hospitals in Parklands?
Oh, very interesting.
Look at the development people who travel have. They have universities, they have schools near them. So you have options. They have healthcare, they have amusement, malls, everything is there. And so we need to change that, because if you look at whether it's Runda or what, most of the time, everything you need is in that community.
It's just within.
It's within, yeah. And we need to start demanding that. We need to start saying, this is what we expect. Everyone deserves good roads. Yeah, for transportation. The moment you put a highway somewhere, you get more housing, you get more businesses, everything improves. But we need to vote and choose.
Oh, okay. Are we going there?
And start kicking people out.
Are we going there?
No, we're not going to go there. I don't want to be.
My podcast is fresh. I still want to be in this country. I don't need to run away.
That's
to walk
it.
around comfortably.
That's a good example. The fact that if you criticize the government, we feel that fear.
Yes.
That says a lot.
Yes.
That already says a lot
Listen,
about the governance.
cowards live longer.
I know,
Cowards
but
live
the
longer.
fact that if you say something,
You don't know about people disappearing in this country.
I know that's true, but
Yes.
that's it. That's where the problem is.
Yeah, I mean,
You cannot have change if you don't criticize, and you cannot have change if there is fear.
true. But
And-
that's why I salute people like Boniface Mwangi, because I'm always like, bro,
That's a hard life, man.
like, yo, I don't know how you survive.
I always
And I
say
mean,
he's alive because he's famous.
yes, but he has such a strong
He is
voice.
strong. He is strong.
And he's not even like backing off any of his statements.
And he shouldn't.
Yeah, I think I'll
And he
try. I'll
shouldn't.
try getting to I'll get to try him in the podcast
You
and see
know-
how that goes. That would be interesting.
Oh,
But then again,
amazing.
now there'll be a red flag all over me as well. But you know what? I'll see how that goes.
Well,
And then so
uh-huh.
let's just stick back to traveling.
Back to travel?
I'll try to go to the pet thing, or we can always do that in
we
another
can talk
segment.
about pets.
Yeah, we'll talk. We'll have to talk about pets as well. So, how many countries do you think you've been to so far?
Not many.
And which country like just left an impact in you, and then you're like,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
now I understand why I need to do this and why I'm doing this.
Okay, so I've not traveled a
Apart
lot.
from
I've
the-
traveled, yes, but I haven't traveled a lot. The reason is I
Have you
only
been like
started
to all
traveling.
major you've been in all continents, let's say that, right?
Yeah, basically, but
Yeah.
I haven't been to Australia or South America or America, so no. I've only traveled to 3 continents.
Okay.
Only 3, yeah.
It's better than some of us.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
better.
But I only started traveling a couple of years ago, so it's
Mhm.
not like I traveled my entire life. I only started traveling just the other day.
Did
So-
someone pay for your first trip, or did you pay it with your own
Oh,
money?
no. Actually, my first trip, I won a ticket from Kenya Airways. I did
You
well.
won?
Yes, I did. I did very well, and then I won a ticket. And so it had an
Listen,
expiry
is it one of
date.
these funny competitions where they've
No.
already selected the winner?
No,
I've
because
never won anything.
oh no, because I'm a travel agent. I did work on merit. So
Oh, it
people
was-
who are doing well were being rewarded.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
and so I
Interesting.
got a ticket.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So it was a free ticket.
it was a free ticket, and
But
so
at least
but you
with
still have
that
to
now-
pay for accommodation. You still have to do all
hey,
this.
I mean, in fact, for me, I think ticket is the most important.
I
That's
know.
taken care of. I'd be
Exactly.
like,
I
what?
actually won 2 tickets.
2.
2 tickets.
Were we still friends?
Yeah, actually, yes.
Shame on you.
Oh my God, I'm sorry.
Shame on you. Shame on you.
And so,
What?
yeah, this
You
was,
won 2 tickets?
I won 2 tickets, and I gave
Uh-huh.
it to my best friend.
Wow.
At the time. And
So
she
you
was
see
supposed
what
to
she
go.
did there? They're no longer friends?
No, we're friends.
Okay.
It's just best is a very silly concept when you're older.
Oh, yeah. True.
Because then
true,
you have different friends for different things.
True.
And so at the time we were supposed to travel, but she there was a problem with her travel documents. If we had traveled and came back, her passport was not, she was not Kenyan, and
okay.
she only, at the time she only had like a student pass, and it was going to expire, so coming back she wouldn't
would
have
have
been
been-
allowed
would have
in
been
the
tricky.
country.
Yeah.
And having it renewed at that time was very different. It would have taken a couple of weeks and stuff. And again, as you know, we're all short notice.
Of course. So you
Yeah.
said
And on top of it, because of that, she also couldn't get a visa. And so I ended up giving that ticket to a stranger, a lady. She was
come
on standby.
on,
She was on
come on.
standby. Those days you could.
A stranger.
Now you can't. Now you can't do that. But then you could do that. And so she was like, "Oh, I need a ticket. I really need
someone
to
that
travel."
you don't even know.
I didn't know her, and I gave her this
Were
ticket.
we still friends? Are you lying?
Hold on, no, I swear to God.
Were we still friends?
Yeah, we were. No, this
What's
is at
wrong?
the airport
What's
because
wrong
I
with
thought
you?
my
You
friend would
gave
show
someone a
up
ticket
at the airport
airport.
because my friend didn't show up. At the time, you could have,
You call
even
me.
though you put the name, you could
Listen,
change
you
the
call
name.
me. I pack my small bag and just start
I
running.
was
towards-
at the airport. She was late, and she
okay.
couldn't get through because she had, like I said,
That's
her pass was
insane.
going to expire, and so they couldn't let her through. They're like, "No,
Wow.
you're barely legal."
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And so this lady was like, "Oh," so I went to the counter. I said, "I have this ticket. Is it possible?" And this lady was so nice and blah 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 blah, and they changed it. And the lady was there, and I was like, I should have charged her for it, but I was not. I thought it's a free ticket, and I didn't. And I just gave her the ticket. She took my number. She went, and I went. And when I came back to Nairobi, she called me. She's like, "Hi, you really helped me. I was in a really tight situation and everything." And then she called me. Turns out she owned, she used to sell clothes.
Yeah.
So she used to import clothes. She called me and she said, "This is a bag. I want you to look through the store and fill it with anything you want."
What?
The value of 10,000.
What?
Yeah.
So you're just like,
No, I was so polite. I was
I
like,
just
"No,
took like
it's
one,
okay."
two.
No, she picked
What
them
do you
out.
mean? Yes, it's okay.
She picked them out for me. And she allowed me to pick a couple of stuff for my friends, and a couple of shoes that she had got for me. And she was
Yeah.
like, because she sells clothes, she was like, "I already know your size, you know." And I was so grateful, and she was so grateful, and that was such a positive moment for me. And people, be kind.
You just never
Just
know.
be
You just
kind,
never
yeah.
know. You just never know.
Yeah, even if you don't get anything, just be kind nonetheless.
Okay, so back to what we were saying initially, which you didn't answer. Which country, that made that impact in you? Like just
South
made it-
Africa.
South Africa?
Not just South Africa. I've been to South Africa twice,
Okay.
but I've been to Durban twice, and I liked Durban. The reason for it is because I got
I've been in-
insulted.
Huh?
Yes, I was insulted.
Okay.
I cut the line without knowing, and this lady went, and I was
Wow.
like,
I interviewed
Right.
two South Africans. They're my friends. They will love this. They will love this.
and this lady insulted me, and I turned back and I realized I was supposed to be at the back of the line, but because the queue to the counter, people not like here where people just queue behind each other. People stand and they go like one at a time, but I didn't know that, because in Kenya you literally breathe on someone's neck.
Yeah.
And so I was like,
hate when that happens.
yeah, and I was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." But at that moment I realized I blend in. I looked around and half the people look like me. I was like, I could fit
You're
in
like,
here.
these are my people.
I'm normal.
These are my people. These are my
Nobody-
people.
And really, I know it sounds really, really silly, but
Yeah.
for a person that tends to stand out more often than not, I was really
Just talk
happy.
about how you are light skin. Is that what we're talking about?
That's it, like everywhere I go, I walk in town, it's like, hey, brown skin, rangi ya tao, and this. And to be honest, most people are okay with that. I
You
find
don't like that?
I don't like it, because
It's way too much.
no, I don't like it, because I don't like when I talk to someone, like after a couple of minutes they start asking me, "So where are you from? What tribe?" It's like, I'm Kenyan. Are you saying I'm not? Does Kenyan have a color or a whatever?
They've told you, Rangia Tao. They've
Yeah,
already
but
told
it's
you.
not something I like. And so South Africa for me, Durban in particular,
Yeah.
I was like, wow. And after that, I walked everywhere. I was South African. I will tell you that for sure. Yeah, I tried to learn Xhosa, and even though they're Zulus there,
I don't know
I
their-
tried, and
yeah.
so many Indians there, but I tried to learn it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've said it right.
Yeah.
But no. Almost bit my tongue off. And
Okay, so that's also really, that makes a difference as well, right?
Yeah.
It just changes like your mindset as well, and you also realize, like, the way you've said, people are just people, and but you also can't blame people here in the country,
nice.
because you actually, just because you start, it's not something you asked for. It just happens that you're light skinned,
I'm
right?
not complaining.
Wait, are you mixed?
No, I'm not.
You're not?
No, I'm not. I'm just light.
Okay. So let's not just get in too deep in that, because
Yeah.
that's a whole other podcast.
That's a private conversation.
Is it? What do you mean by private? Ooh. Ooh. Okay, so when it comes to just a way of life, how people carry on with their day to day in some of the countries that you visited, how is it comparable to Kenya?
I don't know.
I know you're saying, like,
I
it's-
actually don't know.
What do you mean?
I don't know. When I travel, I'm a tourist. I
Yeah.
do touristy stuff. I whip my camera and I photograph every leaf, everything.
So you don't
So I
try to
don't
get
know.
in tune with like what
No, I
people
talk to
do in
people
the
and I
morning.
say, where do we shop or what do we do?
Mm-hmm.
But everybody's friendly, everybody's best foot forward,
Mm-hmm.
and I do try, but no, I don't really know, because when I travel, I'm actually a tourist. I just, oh Lord.
You just said you just do touristy
Yes,
stuff.
I am
Let's
a
stick to
total
that.
tourist.
Okay, this is also very important. It's also like the climate right now. What do you think about? And it's not bashing. I'm just asking. What do you think about girls who have to hook up with like tourists in order for them to travel? As that, I mean, like that's the only way they can leave the country. Because I think a lot of people, it does even change their lives. Some go get married, but that's just like their only way out to travel and even just leave the country. What do you think about that?
That's a very difficult thing to comment on, because people's situations are very different.
Yeah.
I think you have to do what it takes sometimes to get where you need to be. I'm not
Do you?
saying
Do you?
hold on. I'm
Hold
not
up,
saying
hold up.
I'm
Are
not
you
saying
sure?
no, I'm not saying
Wait,
go and date somebody. I'm just
can I
saying
ask
that
a
you
question?
cannot
Wait,
judge.
wait. Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Have you ever had to do anything by all means necessary to get to where you want?
I have stepped when I was climbing my career. I stepped on a couple of friends' heads to get on top, and I bypassed a few people that I shouldn't have bypassed to get certain positions. And so I worked hard, I worked smart, and I went round, and I got exactly where I wanted to go. And I had no regrets about that, let's be honest, because so sometimes it can be different for me. Now I know better, yeah, don't worry. I know better, yeah. When you climb up, you say hi to everyone. So I'm not yet up. So
wow.
yeah. And when you go down, you say hi to those people. So I'm still at that point where I'm not up yet. Yeah.
You're still trying to figure it out. Okay, so
No.
back to this.
Yeah, but I'm just saying I don't tend to judge women for the things that they do, because sometimes it's a whole lot of situation. A lot of times these girls are in either poverty or something, and it's a bit difficult to say like, oh, don't do this or do that.
Yeah.
If it works for you, it does. But I think one of the reasons we shouldn't really judge is because sometimes people fall in love with other people. Like I remember.
But you do know, like Kenya is like a sex tourism destination.
I know
right?
that.
Like if you want like brides that will give you mixed baby.
It's true.
A lot of people travel to this country for that.
I do know. I have a few friends who have met white people that are their age mates. So their age mates, they met.
I find that hard to believe.
Yeah, their age
What?
mates, they met like in uni or during travel or something like that, and they actually date, and it's genuine. And whenever they go to Mombasa, they are treated like prostitutes.
I mean,
And that's very upsetting to me, because people have this. It's like I said.
how
it's a
how do
mentality
prostitutes get treated? I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know how to treat a prostitute.
No, they get treated in a certain way. Like they're told, like oh, sorry, madam, you can't go up to the room, or
You've actually
people
come
don't
to
give
see
you
like your
service.
boyfriend, and then and I know what you're talking
This
about.
has happened to me, by the way.
It
I
has?
dated someone.
Someone thought you were
My
a prostitute.
age.
Wait, someone.
My age. They came over. I took them around for my birthday. We did a holiday. And
Wait,
at
let me
the
get this
hotel,
straight. Someone thought you were.
a person, thought I was a prostitute in Mombasa. And let me tell you, even when I was being served at the restaurant, they would do that.
Yeah.
They would be like, what do you want to him? And then they would do this.
Yeah.
And I thought, number one, it was my treat. I paid for the hotel. I paid for everything because it was my surprise.
Oh, you were dating a white person? Are we talking about
No,
that?
I was dating a great guy.
A great guy?
I dated someone for a long time.
Okay, let's say you were dating someone from a different country.
Yes, I was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Of a
and
different ethnicity?
Of a
Is
different-
That, is
of a-
that the right way to put it?
Okay, no, he was a white guy and we dated for long.
You
And
see?
and we did back and forth
Okay.
between the two countries.
Yeah.
So it was a very good relationship.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, you've now been to our coast, so I'm gonna do this, for you.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, the entire time I was like,
The whole
wow.
experience was a bit.
And the worst thing is, I speak Swahili, duh.
Ah,
And so
yeah.
you hear people talking and you're like, really? And you don't
Oh,
know what
they're
to
just-
say. So he kept
oh.
asking, like, what's wrong? And I kept saying, you don't even want to know. You don't even want to know. This guy, he was buying something, this stupid keychain, stupid little keychain.
Yeah.
That's like what? Well, I don't know, maybe less than 100 bob. If
Yeah,
you went to
maybe
Masai
50
Market,
bob or
maybe 50
something.
bob.
Yeah.
They tell him 3,000. 3,000. Obviously, he doesn't know. You change pounds
Yeah.
to shillings.
Yeah.
You're thinking, oh, I'm rich. All those zeros, yeah? He's like, no. And I'm like, you can't buy that for that amount of money. This guy literally says, where's umekula yako?
Wait.
Wacha hata sisi tukule. I'm like, the hell? No, you didn't.
And also now it registers. Oh, you
I
actually
was so
think.
mad. I was so pissed off. Oh my God. But then now.
Yeah.
So it's
That's very
so
interesting.
Kenyans, let's stop judging. Let's stop thinking that
Yeah.
everybody who's with a foreigner is doing something else. And if they are, it's none of your business. It's none of your business. Yeah.
Or even if
Provided
they
the person is not underage. If you see an underage girl, please do something about that. We do not
So what you're saying,
allow
it's
that.
okay for tourists to come and have sex with the girls and then just pay them?
No.
No?
As a
What are you
woman that
saying?
believes in empowerment, I do not believe that women should sell their bodies.
Isn't that
Or-
women empowerment?
Yeah.
For them to do what they want as long as they are over
No,
18?
no, that is not what they want because
They don't want.
because they have no choice. That is not what they want.
hey,
There's
wait,
nobody
hey,
who
hold
says
up,
I'm
hold
gonna
up,
be a
hold-
hooker because that's what I
They
want.
don't have a choice?
No, they don't.
Okay.
No, they don't.
So should we say we're in
No.
agreement that we should support
a woman-
prostitution in the country?
No,
Maybe let's just
no, I don't
listen,
say that.
They can just legalize it and just take care of them properly. Because it's happened. We are top
I'm
10
okay
in the
with
world.
the legalizing.
We are top 10. We are top 10
I feel
in
like
the
I'm scattered everywhere
no,
now.
no, but just think about it. We are top 10
Yeah.
in the world
Uh-huh.
for sex tourism.
Yeah.
So doesn't it just make sense? Because it's already happening. Like you've said, it's out of their control. Isn't there a way that they can be protected? Because we see
Yeah.
also, like, apart from all these people who are fortunate, they get flown to different countries.
But those are not prostitutes.
Which ones?
Those ones.
The ones that are flown to Dubai?
Oh, right.
Huh?
No.
What?
What's the difference
I'm
between
just
what's
saying-
the difference if you're seeing someone,
Yeah.
if you're dating someone
Yeah.
and they're doing stuff for you? How is that
No, I'm not saying. No, listen, that's a whole different topic. You know what I'm talking about. I've said we are top 10 in sex tourism. So doesn't it make just sense? Because we can't keep just saying it's wrong. Can we just come up with a system to protect the girls who want to
Yes.
be in that business? Because they are already going to do it
who are
regardless.
forced by circumstances to be in that business?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, but can the government do something to protect them? Because there are
Yes.
some that get definitely
Yes.
get fortunate to meet nice people, but there are some who get people introduce them maybe to drugs.
Yeah.
They abuse them. They do so
I
many
think
crazy
the
things.
first thing is that when we talk about women's rights,
Yeah.
sometimes we forget that women's rights include prostitutes.
Mm.
Yes, because they are women. Women's rights should include even people who are trans.
Okay.
If you identify as a woman, whether or not you accept it, you the viewer, you
Listen.
should be protected.
as long as you're here.
As long as when we talk women's rights, it's everybody. You
Yeah.
cannot say, oh, yeah, this girl, they harassed her, she was wearing a short skirt and this, no,
Yeah,
that should not happen.
it
And then when a
shouldn't.
prostitute comes and says, I was raped, yes, she was raped because there was no consent. So we need to stop drawing the lines to the parts that favor us. And when we protect people, we need to protect them throughout.
Why do I have a feeling you didn't write these questions that we've just discussed?
I did, but I just normally just write down a few questions that will guide me for through the podcast, and then I just, work around it, because I'm also trying to train myself to be able to just, not have notes.
Okay.
And be able to conduct like that, just the podcast, like a professional, like the Oprah does. Just ask questions.
I like Oprah.
Read you a bit, and yeah. And I like Oprah as well.
Oprah has the little mic that the producers can tell her what to say.
Shit. So she's been lying to us this whole time.
No, she'll ask, but she does have that. Like they will be like, ask about that or this.
I've lost respect for her.
Oh no! Oh my God! Don't say that. She's like
no,
life.
I'm lying. No, but yeah, it's a whole big production.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're working with time, so it makes sense. It makes sense.
That's true. Yeah.
So, we've talked about quite a lot, and just to sum it up on travel, we've already talked about the last topic. The last question was like, what do you think about girls who have to do what they have to do to travel? I mean, as long as you take care of yourself when you're out there, or just be prepped, stay woke. Don't be introduced into some sketchy stuff, because the government still doesn't have a system to protect
these girls.
Currently,
yeah,
because it's still gonna happen regardless.
But before we even get into that, we still have a lot of issues to address, so we're gonna get there. We'll get there.
We'll give it time.
But for now,
when you get there, you say we'll get to legalizing prostitution, or
no,
what are you saying?
When I say we'll get there, our mentality is changing and things are changing, and also for women, a lot of things are changing. You cannot only change one sector; you have to change everything.
Everybody.
Yeah, everybody.
How people are looking.
Exactly.
You say people who were looking at you and thinking immediately that.
Think about it. A couple of years back in the 90s, if you were sexually molested or raped, you did not say that. The family kept it under wraps. It was considered like, oh my God, that's shameful, or you're.
Don't think it's happening
or you're
now?
Victimized. No, now people are speaking up.
They're
because
not.
People are speaking up.
Very few people are. And we talked about this podcast in a previous podcast, and people don't even understand how crazy it is.
It is a lot, because let me tell you.
Hold on, let me just
Lucia
tell you
Musau had that for like the last 2 weeks,
What
and
happened?
she was actually addressing after this whole R. Kelly thing. She was addressing the people being molested and everything, and people came up are being raped by an uncle, by a dad.
Are you
by
talking
this.
about adults who are speaking out?
Adults who are speaking out that either told people when they are young and those people did not believe them, or the family kept it quiet, or they just never said, and now they're speaking up. And
I just don't want to forget what I'm trying to say.
Oh, tell me.
I think it's just, we shouldn't even focus on the big people. Then they should just be taken to trauma centers, see psychologists, and be spoken to. I think our main focus shouldn't be about the big. Okay, I'm not saying it in a bad way, but if an adult is raped, it's also as serious. Rape is rape, right?
It is.
But we need to pay more attention to the kids.
Yes,
I think
I agree.
adults, it's a bit too.
I
main
agree.
focus. You know why? Last year, the pregnancy, whatever.
School teenage pregnancy. Yeah?
Teenage pregnancy rate just went skyrocket. Kilifi, is it Kilifi County? I don't want to get it wrong. I do not want to get it wrong.
60, I'm not sure.
Oh my God, I do not want to get this wrong at all. Just give me a sec. The pregnancy rate of teenagers, Kilifi County reports 14,000 teenage pregnancies as of last year. 14,000.
That's a huge number.
14,000. Of the ages between what and what?
I'm guessing
below
16.
From 14
to 16.
16.
Yeah.
And do you think a majority of them are sleeping with like their age mates?
Of course not. It's
Not.
obviously teachers. It's obviously uncles.
People
touts,
in high positions.
People in high positions.
So we are talking about a possible, if it's 14,000 teens, we're talking about a possible 10,000 kids who were sexually abused.
Exactly.
And nobody's taking or
the
paying any
fact is
attention to
that
them.
if a person is
10,000?
under 18,
And in Nairobi, we're talking about like maybe those few who spoke out are probably, let's say probably 100.
yeah,
What about 10,000 kids who've been sexually abused and nobody's talking about it?
exactly.
And they're not even paying attention. Nobody has mentioned about that at all. So it's unfortunate, but I'm sorry I can't pay attention to grown-ups with those stories. I think the more serious issue is the people who are doing it to kids. And we're talking about R. Kelly. Focus on the kids who are being abused. Because they might turn out to be...
These children grow up to be these adults with these issues.
Yeah, they might turn out 10,000 abused kids. When they grow up, they'll definitely be abusers.
You know, not...
They might, okay.
Not really.
A majority might.
What happens is that
without decent therapy, they'll tend to think it's a normal thing. It's
let me tell you, therapy works in terms of people handling it. But let me tell you what the best therapy for a sexual abuse is. It is naming the perpetrator. You can go for therapy and everything, but until you face that person will always have that sort of power over you. Because when you're molested as a child, the first thing that is put in you is fear. It is fear. That's why don't tell anyone and everything. And so what happens is that the moment a person names the person that did this to them, that is where the woman takes the power back. And sometimes these women, once you've named the person, sometimes you don't even want a lot of things to happen. You've named this person. And that's the most important.
Have you ever been in any situation where it was close to...
I haven't been raped. And I'm lucky. However, I'm a woman, so you cannot say, no, never. As long as you're a woman, you're always at risk of abuse.
Even a guy?
Yes, even a guy, but more of women than guys.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Are we going to go there?
No. I'm saying, I'm sorry.
Should we open that chapter?
No, because I do.
See, she's even smiling because there's a time we had this conversation and then I told her, like, do you know guys get raped as well?
It's true.
She just started laughing.
I started laughing because of the way he never looks at me seriously. He'll be talking like this and then you look at me and he's got this cheeky smile. And so that's why I always bust out laughing. All right.
Okay, but I get, rape is serious regardless.
It is serious.
Let's just hope
men, women, children, it is important for us to come forward and to say. And most of the time, it's also important to learn that it's not just rape. It is the catcalling. It is the comments. It's all these things. And we need to put that in check. And the only way is to teach our young boys that no means no. It's important for us to teach our children boundaries. Stop telling your daughter, hug huyo, hug uncle. Stop telling your children to hug everyone.
Don't hug.
Yeah.
Don't hug uncles.
Don't hug people. Don't tell your kids to hug people. If the child does not want to hug someone, let them. If a child does not like a particular adult, that is a huge warning sign.
Yeah. Because kids have like that energy. Like if they don't like someone,
something can be happening and your child cannot tell you, and the child is like, oh, I don't want to go to this place. I don't listen to that. If a child doesn't want to play with a particular person, a particular child, something like that, your child's behavior has changed. I'm not qualified to talk on this topic.
No, it is quite a sensitive.
I'm not. Yeah, but it's quite a sensitive topic.
But like when people are talking about the whole R. Kelly thing, I'm like, it's very normal. It's just something that happens on a regular in Kenya.
I actually haven't watched it. The reason for this is I'm an empath and I get like angry, and I don't want to replace my TV because I threw a shoe at it.
But I'm just saying, like, just so that people understand that you're talking about R. Kelly. That thing is regular in Kenya. It's normal. Out in the city, we might be like exposed to all this news. People know what to do between right and wrong. But out there, it's not even like first of all, it's not even like to those people. It's culture.
Yeah.
To them, it's normal. Even like I think it's last week there was some 2 women activists in Isili, like going to protest a 15-year-old who had gone to be married off and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's just a whole other thing, like first we need to focus on the kids.
Yeah.
The kids are the one who are being like are suffering the most, because yes, we might empathize with, you know, a celebrity saying this, or this person saying this.
That's
like,
true.
Yeah, but what about the kids though?
Yeah.
What about the kids?
Yeah.
So let's just save that for a whole
We'll
different
save that
podcast.
for a whole different podcast.
So,
Maybe we need to start compartmentalizing the podcast, like what we're going to talk about. So
Yeah.
one travel, one this, one that, one that.
We should, especially with you.
Yeah, because
We have
obviously.
so much to talk about.
And our conversations are never 30 minutes.
It can never be 30 minutes. Do you want to talk about the pets just a bit before we wind it up? Because we'll definitely still do another
Do
session
another
with
one.
you.
Okay.
Because, you know,
So
I do respect you a lot, and because you're a
you.
hard worker, I
You're
respect.
also a hard worker. No wonder you're my friend.
Eh,
Yeah, all my friends are hardworking. All my friends are focused.
mhm.
My
And I'm in
circle.
that category.
My circle is amazing, you guys. My circle is amazing. Yeah.
Skip that
We
energy
only
in
go
20.
up. Boop.
Oh, yeah, before,
Only one way up.
before we finish on travel,
Yeah.
just last question,
Yeah.
just to sum it all up. How important do you think it is for parents to expose their kids to travel
Yeah. Wow.
at an early age?
That's important. And I think for this one, it could be different reasons for different people.
Yeah,
Let me say why I will expose my future children to travel.
yeah.
Other than the ignorance and everything.
Do you have any children yet?
No.
Nobody has tried
I don't
to
even have a
children with
boyfriend.
you?
How am I going to have kids?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't
Okay.
have a husband, not a boyfriend. Husband. Yeah. Yeah. Husbands.
A slip of
Husband,
the tongue?
children.
Slip of the tongue.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm still taking applications. Please DM your applications.
Yeah. So how important is it? How
Serious
important-
applicants only.
Serious
Anyway.
applicants.
Yeah. For me, I think it's the network and the connections.
Yeah.
For me, could be
Mhm.
different for somebody else. I would say that it is important for my future children to travel so that they can make friends from different countries. They can go for stayovers there. I think it will widen the people they interact with. It will
Yeah.
it will open opportunities for them,
Mm-hmm.
and that's important to me. I didn't travel as a child,
Mhm.
and so I think if I had, things would have been different. But obviously, it was a different
How
time.
different?
It was a different time. If you grew up in the 90s, things were expensive. You know, it was
Oh,
so
they were
costly
so
to go
crazy.
places. Don't
Yeah.
forget, we didn't have mobile phones.
We didn't have internet.
I know
Wasn't
people,
really there.
people who are like 21 are like, you didn't have mobile phones.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we use
You
smoke
couldn't like
signals.
Google. You couldn't
Yeah.
Google any information.
We use- There's no Google.
True.
Yeah, we only had like Yahoo was like,
It was tricky. It
if
was
you
tricky.
had an email address, you were lit.
yeah. It was a bit different. It was
Yeah,
very
it was very
different then.
different, yeah. And
Yeah.
so we still wrote letters, and if you wanted to meet someone, you had to agree. Like, we're meeting town at 3, and that was the end of it.
Yeah.
There was no phone, there was nothing, so you had to be
So
at
if
that
you've been
place at
stood
that
up,
time. So
it
if you're
hurts.
stood up,
It hurts.
you would have to sit there like a lemon. And if someone got lost, they would have to ask other people how to get somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if
was
you
a-
are like if you just said like, oh, I'm at Hilton, and the person gets there, they have to go around the whole building
Yeah,
to find you
yeah,
because they can't
yeah.
call and say which side.
Yeah. Very interesting. So we've touched on travel like quite a lot, and you know, if people just in case people want to know more about travel, I mean, she's the best person to talk to.
Yeah.
She's been doing it for over 10 years.
11.
Years. So she knows like all the ins and outs, how to go around getting visas,
Everything.
your paperwork, just how you can, move around.
Yeah.
She'll make your work easy. If you
Please.
need more information, please just contact her on that.
DM me at Kafai. That's Kaphae.
Yeah, plus for
Yeah,
guys you had, she's
Kaphae at Kafai. Or if you do Nash Wanjau, I'll still pop up. So you can just DM me with your questions and
for
anything
guys,
that you
and
need.
for guys who are looking for a partner to make babies with you, see, she's
Yeah.
at that place where she wants.
Oh my God!
She's
He
trying,
said to make
she's
babies.
trying.
Please don't listen to him. Okay,
It's not-
please
you don't
want
want
to
to make babies with a person you'll get married to, of course. That's what I meant.
Oh my God! You know what?
Or you don't want many babies?
Oh my God!
Okay, we'll get to that. Let's talk about pet business.
Yeah.
Let's just touch on it
Okay.
so that we can also like have breakfast and
Sure.
you know, just let you go, and then we can still recoup after a few weeks, let's say that.
Awesome.
So, I mean, your like main thing that you've been doing, focusing on work-wise, is travel, right? Oh, and how is it lucrative?
Which one?
Travel.
Yeah, travel is.
Because, you know, a lot of people at the end of the day, they're always like, there's this thing that somebody sent me yesterday, and I'll send it to you. They just broke down like budget, middle class. How once you pay rent, you pay insurance.
I saw that and I responded to
like,
someone, and I'll send it to you. And I corrected.
Yeah.
This morning, I'll show it to you. I corrected, and they're like, oh, this person 50K, 40K, and they use this. And I was like, no.
Yeah.
No, 5K for entertainment. That's because you're going to party and drink.
Yeah.
You're going to party and drink.
No, but
you can meet your friends and get soda or crepes, sit in the house and chill until you're financially stable. You do not have to look this black tax where you have to look after your family. We need to put a check on that, because if you're looking after other people, you cannot continue, you cannot succeed. You cannot give what you don't have.
But I was talking to my friend about that, and I was saying, like, you know, it's okay, like, let's say if one partner is making, like, you know, a certain amount of cash, but it's not a bad thing for the other person to know, even if they're still trying to figure out their thing. But can you imagine how powerful? Like, that's why even like you see when you see Jay-Z and Beyonce, like, imagine how unstoppable they are as a couple. Because like they can both like
communication.
There's communication. They're both bringing in something to the table. It's so important. Don't just, because something can happen to, let's say maybe someone is a pilot, right? Something happens to their hand. So that means automatically
they can't work.
It will
impact their finances. It will impact your life.
The family, if you have kids and a wife.
Yeah.
But you see, if your wife is already focusing on other things as well, she has her own hustle going on, a whole career going on.
That's true.
It's so strong, because you need to understand that support system is definitely needed, just in case one person is. Like, you know, the way you said, you know, it's important for a man to go out and look for.
It's so true. But you know, I'm not married, so I don't know.
But I'm just saying,
I think that married people.
But I'm just saying,
when you get there, you figure out. Cause
it's so important, because just in case something goes wrong or left, your wife can just hold it down for just a few, and then before you get back
until you get back, because you're a partnership.
It's a partnership. I think it's really, really important to be able to balance that.
We'll get there when we get there. So I'm not qualified to talk about marriage.
Okay.
I give good single advice though.
Ooh, we'll get to that. We'll do that in another podcast. Pet business. That's what you're doing on the side. It's something you're passionate about.
No. Let me correct that.
Yeah.
I am not doing a Mousy Pet Shop on the side. Mousy Pet Shop is my business. I am doing the travel on the side.
Wow.
I am employed on the side.
Yeah.
Mousy Pet Shop, like today, is a weekend.
Yeah.
We close for the weekend. My pet shop doesn't close for the weekend. It doesn't close for the night.
Yeah.
You DM me at midnight, my phone beeps, and you need something, guarantee you in the morning you're going to get it.
Wow.
Yeah. I wake up every day at 5 a.m. I'm not waking up because of somebody else. I have to wake up because my business has to be on point before I continue with my day. And so my business is the main, and the travel agency is the side. Because at the end of the day, I can always, if my job requires me, I can always leave the travel agency for the business. But I cannot leave my shop, close my shop, tell my few employees they have to go because of someone else's business. And so you build you first. Okay. And so this is, the travel agency gives me something else, which I really appreciate.
But your main
but
your main business is.
But I'm an entrepreneur, and I love I've really worked hard on my pet shop. So.
Okay, so why pet shop? Is it because you like animals? Is it because it's profitable, or you're passionate, and it also just makes sense because you focus a lot on pets, you like pets, and it's just doing something that you actually love.
You know, I've always liked animals. I've always wanted to work with animals.
Yeah.
And so, even being in the travel agency, I like animals.
Yeah.
And so I had a cat, and I had my cat I got him in 2014. 2014.
You're saying like you got a baby by the way.
Yes, beautiful Mawenzi, 2014. And so at the time there were very few pet shops, and the pet shops that were there were so expensive, and I could barely afford to maintain him. At the time I was using 10,000 a month just for his budget, his food, his litter, everything.
What
was
about
coming
your
to 10,000.
What about your boyfriend at the time?
Can we talk about my baby
Yeah,
first?
let's talk about your baby.
And then I got another cat, and my budget went up. So now I had double. Like I was
So
spending,
wait, if you're spending 10,000, I'm sorry to interrupt.
then
you,
ended
sorry.
up spending 15, not 20, but
Okay,
15, because some things they share, you know.
Yeah.
Then I ended up like, oh, wow, this is so much money. You know, I can't afford this, because it was really a strain. The cat has to eat. The cat has to shit.
I'm sure people who just give their cats leftovers
Has
are
to
thinking
be
they're like
groomed.
15,000 for
I know.
a pet.
It was expensive even for me, because I thought this is ridiculous amount of money to spend on an animal, and it's not even giving you returns, right?
Yeah.
And so I decided what would be the best thing. And so I thought, you know what, instead of complaining, because what happened is I was constantly complaining, oh my God, it's so expensive to buy food for him, it's so expensive to do this. And I was like, you know, buying all this stuff for him, taking him to be groomed and everything, and my expenses were just going up. And I thought, oh my God, I'm complaining. Shut up, stop complaining, do something about it. And so I did something about it. I opened a pet shop, and anyone who knows Mozi Pet Shop, everything is much cheaper than anywhere else. And
in Nairobi?
So, yes, and so I put prices that I could spend or I could afford. So
My sister actually has I think a cat.
It's good. So how come you've never, I have a pet shop. How come, you're like,
does.
oh, you have a travel, and no. How come you've
never? You've even seen me. Listen, I didn't say I
friends
did.
Support friends.
I said my sister, and I was about to finish my sentence saying that I will tell her this is where you should get all your stuff.
It's been 3 years. She should have been my client in 2014.
She is now. That's guaranteed. Trust me.
Good.
So, are you just focused on in your pet shop? Are you just focused on just cats or like?
Cats and dogs. I'm hoping to expand to other animals. Hence why I'm working right now. Everything is a step to build to the goals that I want, and so I don't want to say them out loud. I don't want to say anything because I prefer to actions. To do things with actions. But I hope everyone wishes me well.
We all do.
Yeah.
We all do.
Yeah. So I'll stay focused.
Especially me.
Yeah.
You just never know what the future holds.
True. Yeah. So I'll stay focused.
But you won't be those Nini, because I'm putting together like pets. How many cats do you have? Do you have 1 or 2?
2.
No, wait. Do you have another cat that you don't want to talk about?
Yahtzee.
How many?
Yahtzee. 1.
Also, you have 1?
No, Mozi and Yahtzee.
So it's 2 cats. Yeah. You don't want to be those old women with just like 10 cats in the house and no boyfriend and no man in the house, right?
It's too late.
What do you mean it's too late?
It's too late.
What do you mean it's too late?
It's too late. I like cats. Today I almost kidnapped a kitten. I almost like grabbed this kitten and put her in my handbag. I was like, ooh. And I just thrown her in the handbag and just walked off. Like, meow, what's that in your purse?
Like I do love pets as well, but I don't just think I'm suitable enough to. I'm never in the house. It will be lonely.
Pets need a lot of attention, a lot of love.
Yeah.
A lot of things. So please, if you do not have the time or the money or the resources, just don't get an animal. And if someone has an animal and you want to visit and give something, that's really cool. But you can also love animals from a distance. You can love them from afar. The way you love your elephants, your lions and everything, you can love them from
just
afar.
Keep your distance.
Yeah, you can be like, okay, support that. Don't kick the animal. You can educate people, but if you do not have the time or the resources, please do not adopt a cat. And same applies with children. Yeah, please don't go having kids if you cannot look after them.
True. Fact.
Or if you don't have the time for them. We have enough damaged people in this world.
I'm gonna get lip.
So I mean, I know,
for this.
I know we've done probably like an hour and a half. So no, hold on. So I just want to summarize it, to sum it up. But I know I definitely we need to still come back and just talk about the pet business and stuff.
Yeah.
We touched a lot on travel because I think that was the main thing that
The
I was
main
thinking.
interest, for you.
For a lot of people will connect to that as well.
Yeah.
And even the pet, but we'll get back to the pet later.
That's okay.
But just before we finish all this, because in my podcast I always try and touch on like almost everything. Like it's all about balancing life.
Yeah.
No, I haven't launched it yet. Why are you smiling like that?
No,
Because you know where the question is going. You know where the question is.
No, because I know it's gonna be goofy.
No, it's not gonna be good because when people are watching it, watching or listening to it, I just want people to be able to connect to like how it's possible to like just balance all these things in life: health, wealth, love, and happiness. So let's just talk about love. Do you wanna go with love or health?
I'll go with health.
Come on. What do you mean? Okay, when it comes to health, I know you like organic food, right?
Yeah, I do.
She likes organic food. Yeah, and that's not interesting. We're
Oh
done with
my
that.
God.
Yeah, organic food is healthy. Yeah, whatever. So let's go to love life.
I had no choice.
And we're just picking,
All right.
just in general, just talking about it, kidogo, like maybe 5 minutes.
Okay.
And then we just finish it up, right?
Okay.
Look at you smiling. So,
I'm actually blushing.
because, I've interviewed like a lot of women as well who are focused on their business,
Yeah.
this and that and this and that. Do you think it's hard for someone who's so focused on business, like a woman who's focused on their business, they're serious about what they're doing, they're just, they're like wired to the grind and everything. Do you think it's hard for them to find a suitable life partner because like they put like a lot of their focus on work?
I don't think so. I think that busy people tend to meet busy people, and if you're both busy, you create time for each other.
How will you create time?
You will create time. You will find time. If you like someone, you will find time.
And I'm not even talking about in general. We're talking about you. Is it hard? Is it hard for you to meet someone who actually understands that you're about the grind, about?
No. I think what happened is I changed my circle. I noticed that a lot of people who are complaining that I did not have time for them or anything used to be quite idle, you see, or they work.
I complain that you don't have time for me, but do you mean?
But you're just as busy as I am. You're just as busy as I am. You have a calendar that you put and you've marked your free days, don't you? Yeah. So you're just as busy as I am, and the days that you've marked the X, it doesn't matter what I do, I can't get you on those days. I can't. So it's the same thing for me.
And if you break your foot, let's talk about it tomorrow.
Exactly. That's it. And also for me, I'm just as busy. My friends are just as busy. When people see my social media, they see the hype and the partying and everything, but in reality we do create that time.
You have to, otherwise you lose your mind.
But right now I'm doing this. After this I'm going to work. After work, I am going for my business.
We're having breakfast.
Yeah, after us. That's what I meant. After us, I'm going to the office, to someone's office. I'm going to actually put in a bit of overtime. And then after that, I'm going to go and do my business. And then after that, I'm going to socialize some more. And so it is all a matter of balancing your time and prioritizing what you need to do. And that's very important.
But do you think it's important to have
let me put this way,
a partner?
Yes,
you believe in marriage?
I believe in a happy marriage, but I don't believe in just getting married for the sake of it. If you find someone who you think, wow, I can do this with you, yes. But if you're not sure, if you're hesitant, if you're like, oh, on a scale of 1 to 10 I'm an 8, no, please do not get married. Do not put people in miserable situations. Do not have miserable children. Please don't. Only get married when you are sure you're both in the same page. You both want marriage. You're both ready. There's just too many people getting into the wrong situation. Do not be desperate. There's no age limit. There's no age that
Hey,
you have to have
that's what
kids.
that's
There's
what
no
R.
age
Kelly
that
said.
you have
Age
to be
ain't
married.
nothing than a number. What are you
Age
saying?
ain't nothing but a number. Okay. Let me rephrase that. But okona ID.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I think for a long time I didn't date because I was busy building myself. The entire of last year I did not date because I was focused on my goals. And when you're focused on your goals, sometimes you cannot allow distractions, because the opposite sex, whether it goes, you chase girls or you chase money. So one or the other, because girls will always take your money.
No, true.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Chase girls or take money. Like I'm about to take all his money today.
Ooh.
Anyway, so and so what happens is that I was focused, and I knew that I would on my free time I would have been too tired to do this, and so I had to get where I needed to be. And now I'm open. Like if you're like, hey, let's go for coffee, I'm gonna come for coffee. Yeah.
You've found like you're trying to balance it out, so there's no pressure.
I
when
have
it
found
comes
my
to that,
balance, and I have found some extra time, and
to
I'm making
allocate
it
to
work.
actually.
No, let me not say I'm finding extra time. If you say I need to schedule in here, I'm going to like check my diary, and I'm going to find a place where I can schedule you in. And I'll be like, okay, maybe 4 doesn't work for me, but 5 does, and then I'm gonna put you there. And when I come to see someone, my phone is not here, it's in my bag. I will give you
She's very.
my undivided
She's
attention.
very. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I give 100%. I will not waste my time with people. Let me just say, if you say, oh, kuja tukunywe, no. But if you call me, you have something to contribute to my day, I will appreciate that, and I'll give you the full value of what you're giving me.
Okay. I mean, I just asked if you have a boyfriend. But
Whoa,
listen,
okay.
Listen. No, but it's just a good way that you've broken it down to, like,
I know.
you've explained it in a very
I have
nice way.
explained it in a
So
nice way.
for you, there's no pressure about it.
No, for me,
You
there's
shouldn't
no pressure
jump into
about
it because,
it.
like, hey, all my friends by 25 they're married. I need
You
to
know,
get married.
no,
pressure to
and
do
birds
that.
of a feather flock together. My friends are not desperate out there.
Okay.
They meet very nice guys. Some are dating, some are not dating, but it's not a priority. No one wakes up thinking I need to date someone. That doesn't happen. We get on with our lives, and if you find someone who's nice, or you go out with your friends, who knows, sometimes you click with someone, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you click with people and you're better off as friends. So there's no pressure. It's never that serious.
Okay.
That's my motto, by the way. It's never that serious.
Never that serious. Okay, one last question before we just finish it up. What kind of guys are you into?
What kind of guys am I into? Right. That tends to change.
Tall,
a
dark,
bit.
and handsome. Tall, white, and handsome.
That's a good question. I tend to look at the inners. So I look at honesty, integrity. I just tend to look at characters. I tend to look at a person's character.
So it's more about the mind, the mind frame.
But I look at people's behaviors, people's characters, how you relate to me, how you think, those things. It helps if you're good looking. Please, it helps if you're tall. Please be taller than me. I'm sorry, I'm not nining anyone, but if I wear heels and you're still shorter than me, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, but please, if you're short,
saying if a short guy
hits on me, you will be friend zoned. No offense.
What?
Yeah.
Even if they like you, they're doing all the right things,
No offense to
financially
anyone.
stable, focused on their business, and they actually love you, you would
I would
friends on
probably
them 'cause
consider.
of their height.
I would
Because of their
no.
height.
I would consider. When you've put it that way, I would definitely consider. But please don't start wishing short people on me. No offense to any. Like if you're short, guy, not girls. Girls can be any height. But if you're like short, I'm not saying it's a bad
by the
thing.
way,
I'm
my
just saying
question
I'm averagely tall. So if you're like short,
as you know, you're a feminist, and I also have to take this into consideration.
it has nothing to do with that. It's just
Okay,
a
sir,
matter
but
of
I'm just saying
preference.
I have to be.
You have to be
'cause
taller than me.
do you like guys? First of all, do you like girls?
I like guys. I'm strictly.
Say, do you like?
dickly.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh. Because we're not even talking about girls. That's gone. Because somebody's watching the podcast. Maybe they like you and they're a chick.
Yeah.
And then they're like, maybe she likes girls too. So no girls for you?
Oh, no, I don't like girls, but I'm friends with everyone. I'm friends with the LGBT, and I'm a supporter of all persons. So I have a lot of love to give. So I might not get with you, but we can for sure be friends. We can for sure have a drink.
Ooh. Okay. Okay, I think we've talked about, we've touched on almost everything.
Yeah.
It's been a beautiful conversation. A nice way to start 2019. Of course, are you sure you've unblocked me from all your... Should we talk about that in the podcast or not?
No, this guy dissed me. I blocked him, and then I told him I blocked you, and then he said sorry, and then I unblocked him.
Yeah.
So it was
but that's not how you deal with life situations, right?
People will think I blocked you for centuries and everything. It was like a 5-minute madness, okay?
You're just like, this guy, I just can't take it anymore right now, block. Yeah. But it's all good. We're in good times right now.
We're awesome.
It's 2019.
It's 2019.
We're starting everything afresh. So but just understand, of course, in just friendship, relationships, everything, there's always gonna be ups and downs.
That's so true.
But it just means, just because we have a small disagreement, you just don't kick me out of your life.
We didn't have a small disagreement. We had you said something to me that I didn't think was true of my nature, but then I realized why you would have said that. And I realized that when I'm with you, I'm always on a controversial topic. I'm always the opposite of you. And so your view was very much justified. You were completely justified. Are you apologizing?
Is this your way of apologizing?
I'm not apologizing. I have nothing to apologize for. Okay. However, what I'm saying is I ended up with a new understanding.
Yeah. We can always just have different...
Yeah. And I
that's
actually
what makes it nice, right?
Yeah. And I actually ended up valuing that. And
that or me?
You.
Ooh.
And
you see how hard it is for her to say that? Ooh.
But then you know what? That's the thing about friendship and everything. You learn each other. You give each other chances. And the most important thing in this world is to learn to forgive. Yeah? And to learn to reconcile. And to learn to say, Bora umenyamazia, kwenda huko. Come here. Come for that hug. And that's it. So people who don't it's never that serious.
It's never that serious. Like you said. So I think we can just wind it up from here. If you need to reach out to her, where can people find you?
Yeah, same place I said, which is at Kafai, that is Kaphae, or you can just search Nash Wanjau, at Nash Wanjau. It will just be the same.
In all platforms,
on Instagram,
right?
On Instagram. Please do not search me on Facebook because I only have people I know on Facebook.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
but
so
my Instagram is
easier.
open. Yes, I will not give my number for very clear reasons. Yeah, and please please don't write silly things when you're messaging me.
She's a serious person.
I'm not a serious person. Just say hi and be polite, but please, for people who tend to send me vulgar things, please do not.
Please don't.
I'll just end up blocking you for nothing. So just say hi, ask your question. I will reply to everyone. I will respond to everyone. I will definitely take that time.
So
you are important to me.
So just in case, because she's really an expert when it comes to traveling, she'd tell you everything that you need to know, ins and outs, budgets, everything. So just reach out to her, and of course, thanks for watching another episode of the His Capades podcast, and hopefully I'll just have her in another episode. We always have way much to talk about. So share, subscribe. The episode is going to be on iTunes, Apple Podcast, YouTube, Facebook, SoundCloud, all those social media platforms. So as long as it's informative, it's entertaining, you gained something from it, just share and subscribe. If you have any more questions,
please feel free. If you also send on he's gonna forward it to me. So share and subscribe.
We're gonna read them together.
We'll read them together. Would love your comments.
Hey.
And would like to answer your questions if you guys have any questions for him or for me.
Okay.
We're open.
So I guess I'll see you in another episode. Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you. That was nice,
It was cool. My boss will kill me.
Thank you.
My
Thank you
boss
so
will
much.
kill
Thank
me.
you so much. But